Hey, what's up, Razmanites? It's the Razman coming at you here once again for another super random sauce video. I'm sorry there was no video last week from me, but this is a channel where we just all get to it when we have the time, and I've been incredibly busy. I want to talk today about my Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, baby, jungle power! Who they think gonna beat them Bengals? Well, apparently it's not the Green Bay Packers, because the Bengals went in and got the quote-unquote upset against the Packers in Lambeau Field. And the reason that I call that an upset is if you have HBO and you saw Hard Knocks and you watched the way the Bengals lost 2 weeks ago to the Denver Broncos on the most fluke of plays. I mean, when's the next time you're going to see that happen? A guy goes up, in this case Chris Crocker, goes up and deflects a football, and then deflected football falls into the opposing receiver's hands, and the opposing receiver, this in case was Brandon Stokely, the Denver Broncos, goes 87 yards to the house for a touchdown for the opposing team. I mean, you're just not going to see that under normal circumstances. So, and the way they played against Green Bay, I fully think is the way that they are meant to play this year. I'm telling you, Bengal Nation, we have reason to be extremely optimistic. A healthy Carson Palmer and a 4-deep running back system gives us a heck of a chance this year. Heck of a chance. Of course, it's only 2 weeks in, so anything can happen. But I feel really, really good. The other main thing that I want to talk about today is, of course, what's going on in TNA, because finally, the phenomenal AJ Styles is your TNA heavyweight champion. This guy has been the best pure all-around talent in the business for years. He has never been TNA champion. He was a 4-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, or maybe it was 3-time. I honestly don't know. Never been too good with math. But he held the NWA title back when TNA was NWA TNA and they had that association going on. But he was never TNA World Champion. And they're really building the right guys right now in TNA, and putting the company on AJ Styles' shoulders is just like, yes, finally a champion that gets me excited and isn't Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle is so dang stale. It was a great pay-per-view overall. Actually, No Surrender was from TNA. It was from top to bottom good. I mean, Madison Rayne looked good, as she's now the new full partner of Velvet Sky due to the work visa issues of Angelina Love. I think she looked very good. Of course, I could be biased because she got her training here in Ohio, but I think she looked very good. Suicide and the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, a.k.a. Elijah Burke, that's his real name, they put on a great matchup. So, Joe and Christopher Daniels, another one that was great. I mean, it was just overall a really, really good pay-per-view from TNA. And TNA is making all kinds of headlines as well, because not only are they putting on great programming, but there's a rumor. 1985D, this is for you, because you asked me this question a couple of weeks back. There's a rumor going around right now that the man himself, the legend that is Hulk Hogan, wants to come to TNA Wrestling. Now, this is a difficult one to really talk about with any sort of validity, because right after these rumors started, Hogan announced and confirmed / launched his Australian tour. Hulkamania Let the Battle Begin with Eric Bischoff and a couple of big former names. They used to be a part of WCW and the WWE. So right now he's focused on Hulkamania Let the Battle Begin, which, by the way, if you didn't know, I'm really hoping that there's some bootleg footage of that makes its way from Australia, because the main event on that tour is Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan. Now, I know what you're saying if you're a wrestling fan. Well, Flair promised to retire. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But that only counts for the U.S. He can wrestle anywhere outside the United States if he chooses, and he's choosing to wrestle Hogan. And they had some pretty decent matches in the old WCW. So, yeah, both men are really at an advanced age, but it's still Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. So I'm really interested to see how that turns out. But as far as Hulk Hogan in TNA, I personally don't think that he has any interest in TNA. I mean, he's had chances to come to TNA before. He was supposed to be there once when it was in WA-TNA, and he got his knee injured and never came back. Came back to the WWE. I think this is just him being desperate to put his wrestling persona back out there, because all the negative press he's getting with his son Nick and his wife Linda, and the whole divorce thing, and the fact that Linda is dating someone, you know, my age or younger. She's being a cougar, as the saying goes. So I think he's just trying to focus on wrestling again, but I don't think that necessarily means that he's going to end up in TNA, because I don't think that he can do for TNA what he did for WCW, in the sense that he basically put WCW on the map. Granted, TNA could probably benefit from another big name, but the thing is, what they're doing right now is exactly what they need to be doing. They're focusing on their young talent, and they're building up that talent that is the future of professional wrestling. So they don't need to be bringing in Hulk Hogan, who would want to make it all about him. Don't get me wrong, I'm a Hulkamaniac, always will be a Hulkamaniac, but it's no secret that everywhere Hogan goes, he wants to put himself over. So TNA doesn't need that right now. And the other reason that I don't think Hogan actually wants to go to TNA is because of the fact that I think he's just trying to use TNA as leverage to get a better deal with the WWE. You know, his deal is almost up, his Hall of Fame deal or whatever it is. I think he wants to get leverage from them, to have them tell him to come back and be a guest host of Raw, or come back and do one more match. I think that's maybe against John Cena, which I would love to see, or even Stone Cold Steve Austin, although I don't think Austin's back will ever let him do it. But I honestly think that's what it's about for Hogan. He's using TNA as leverage to get to WWE. I could be wrong, and we could see Hulkamania in TNA. And if we do, it'll be very, very interesting. And if we do, I will cover it right here on YouTube. You can be sure of that. With that, I'll see you next time for another super random sauce video, Razman style.